Okay, this is part 2 of the 6.3a worksheet. We've already compared the process of using substitution, where I did problem number 1 over here, and then I did elimination over here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to solve problem number 2 using elimination. And so the first thing we want to check is to make sure that each one of these equations are written in standard form. You can see that this one fits. Now if I come over here, I've got by there, I've got c there, and I've got ax there. Okay, so that doesn't work, does it? So I've got to get the 3x term over here, so I'll subtract 3x from each side. And then the equation I end up with is a negative 3x plus 4y equals a negative 65. Okay? So you see now I've got ax plus by equals c. And when you use elimination, you've got to have that every time. So now we've got it in standard form instead of slope-intercept form. Now when we do elimination, we want to write each equation over the top of each other. So we've got that one there, so we're going to put negative 2x plus 5y equals a negative 69. Now we choose a variable to eliminate. Let's say that we want to eliminate y, so we solve for x. So we're going to write y right there. So let's look at the y numbers in front of the y. We know I have a 4 and I have a 5, so that means I want a 20, because 4 times 5 is 20. I want that one to be negative and that one to be positive. And it doesn't matter which one. I could make this one negative and that one positive. It really doesn't matter. So now the million-dollar question is this: what number do I multiply 4 by to get a negative 20? Well, I multiply that one by a negative 5. What do I multiply 5 by to get a positive 20? The second million-dollar question, so that's going to be 4. So that guarantees me that my y's are going to drop out and then I'll have an equation with just x. And remember, that's important because I only can solve a variable, or only can solve an equation that has one variable in it. So I don't want to do that yet. So let's go ahead and let's multiply these together. So I have a negative 5 times a negative 3. That's a positive 15x. I don't have my right pen running here. Hold on just a second. So negative 5 times a negative 3 is 15x. There I go. And negative 5 times positive 4 is a minus 20y. And negative 5 times negative 65 is a positive 325. Now let's do the same thing to the second one. 4 times a negative 2 is a negative 8x. 4 times 5 is 20y. Now do you see that the y's are going to drop out? And then this one is a negative 69 times 4. That would be a negative 276. Now that I've done that, I know that's going to be the 0y that I want, and then my x will be 7x, and my constant will be 49. So 7x equals 49. Divide each side by 7, so that tells me my x is 7. Now I guess you could go ahead and take the 7 and put it up in here for the x and find your y, but we're going to go ahead and use substitution to find both sides of this, to find both the x and the y. So let's erase this right here, and I'm going to go ahead and change to red. So now we want to find the y, so we have to eliminate the x's. So if I look at 3 and 2, I've got 3 and I have 2, so I want to have a negative 6 and I want to have a positive 6. So what number do I multiply a negative 3 by to get a negative 6? Well, just use 2. what do I multiply negative 2 by to get a positive 6? Well, I multiply that by a negative 3. So now my equation to find y's will be this. 2, I've already done these, right? I've already used those, so let's not get those confused. So 2 times a negative 3 is a negative 6x. 2 times 4 is a positive 8y. And then 2 times a negative 65 is a negative 130. Now negative 3 times a negative 2 is 6x, so there's where our x is going to drop out. And a negative 3 times 5 is a negative 15y. And then a negative 3 times a negative 69 is 207. Okay, so let's add these up. So now I have a negative 7y equals 77. So y divide by a negative 7 to each side, so y equals a negative 11. So that's my other side of the ordered pair. Alright, so that's how we use substitution. So why don't I go ahead and pause the video. If the substitute wants to pause the video and let you finish copying down that problem, that would be great. Okay, now we're ready to go ahead with problem number 3. So let's check to make sure this is in standard form. So I see I have ax plus by equals c. There's my ax. There's my by term. There's another by term over there. And then I have my c. So something's got to be done here. I've got to get this one over there. Does that make sense what I've done there? What I'm trying to show you? Okay, so we've got to get this over here. So I'm going to add 3y to each side. So that'll give me a negative 5x plus 2y equals, remember that goes to 0, equals a negative 3. So that's the equation that I want right there. Let me erase this now, and we're going to take this equation and we're going to combine it with the other one. So here I've got a negative 2x plus 3y equals a negative 33. And then I'm going to go ahead and use this one. And I think there's a change on, if you look at your worksheet, I think yours has a negative 33. I think it's wrong on this worksheet that I'm using. I fixed it on yours. That should be, if you look at it, that should be 33 there. Okay, so let's eliminate the x's first. Let's get rid of the x first. So if I look at a negative 2, well, let's just look at 2 and 5. And I want a 10. A 10, I want that to be a negative 10. This 10 to be a positive 10. So I don't have much room here. Erase that. So the red are going to be my axis. So what do I multiply a negative 2 by to get a negative 10? Well, I multiply that by 5. What do I multiply a negative 5 by to get a positive 10? That would be a negative 2. Okay, so that's how I chose those numbers. Should we go ahead and choose our ones for the y already? Get that done. So now I have a 3 and a 2. I want a negative 6 and a positive 6. So I have a 3 times, what number do I multiply 3 by to get a negative 6? Well, that would be a negative 2. What number do I multiply 2 by to get a positive 6? Well, I multiply that by 3. Okay. Now I'm not multiplying these two numbers together. I just got them listed there to get rid of my x and my y. So let's do this one first. 5 times a negative 2 is a negative 10x. 5 times 3 is a positive 15y. And then 5 times a negative 33 is a negative 165. Now, negative 2 times negative 5 is a positive 10x, so there's my x going away. And negative 2 times positive 2 is a negative 4y. And then a negative 2 times negative 33 is a positive 66. So now when we add these two equations together, the x's drop out. I have 11y equals, I think, a negative 99. Yep, negative 99. Divide each side by 11. So that says my y is equal to a negative 9. Okay. Now let's go ahead and let's find our x. Well, we do this one in black. We've already used those to find the y, so I'm going to cross those out. So negative 2 times the negative 2, that is 4x. And negative 2 times positive 3 is a negative 6y. And negative 2 times a negative 33 is a positive 66. And now we're going to do this one down here. 3 times a negative 5 is a negative 15x. And 3 times a positive 2 is a positive 6y. Now do you see the y's are going to drop out and allow me to solve for my x's. 3 times a negative 33 is a negative 99. Now we've got that all done. Let's add our equation together. So that gives us a negative 11x equals a negative 33. Divide each side by a negative 11. So x equals a positive 3. So the ordered pair for number 3 is 3 and a negative 9. Now if you want, you can go ahead and take this ordered pair, put it in either one of these equations, and you can check it to see that it's right. So that's all for this video. What I would like you to do before Monday is make sure that you get number 4 done. And when we come back, I'll answer questions, any questions that you have on this. And then I'll give you the rest of the time in class to finish 5, 6, 7, and 8. So thanks for viewing in. These videos, both of them will be posted on the internet, so it will allow you to help you with your homework or just the one problem. And if you feel like studying it a little bit more on the weekend, you'll be able to. So thanks for tuning in, and have a good afternoon.